Officer, you need help?
Stay back, sir. I got this.
Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Big Toon, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. And in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Resident Evil 2 remake and reviewing it because we did just upload the final video. And just like with all games that we finish, we upload a review right after the, I know I said a week, but now we are going to upload it most likely like a day or two after the last video goes up. So this game was released in 2019 for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. And as of now, you can play this game on all current gen consoles with backwards compatibility, and it is still on PC. This game was originally released in 1998 for the PS1, and this is a completely remade game. It's a completely perfect game. Like, this game got me into survival horror games because I got excited for this one, and I bought it, and then it motivated me to go back and play the first Resident Evil. And right now, as you see, we're playing the entire series. So what the first thing we're going to do in this review is take a look at the gameplay, because I shit you not, this game is one of the most satisfying games to master.
Hello? Is any...
Unlike its predecessor and the game that this is based on, Resident Evil 2 Remake decides to ditch the fixed perspectives and the tank controls and go for a third-person over-the-shoulder perspective. Following in the footsteps of RE4, this game also takes into account of the ability in RE6. It's a simple ability, but you can move while you are aiming. The game also decides to throw a lot, and I mean a lot of armaments. Armaments, is that a word? We're just going to keep that in here. At you. Say, such as Leon, he gets a shotgun, and Claire gets a grenade launcher. And not only are there weapons that you can find throughout the story, there are also sub-weapons, such as the flash grenade, a grenade, and the knife. These weapons, while they can be used on their own, the most important use that they have is being able to escape being grabbed by an enemy, because on harder difficulties, it takes less, it takes like 2 or 3 zombie bites to go down, and the knife usually will help you get out of situations in which you were going to die. And while there are 2 different playable characters, the differences in gameplay only amount to the types of weapons and the people that they encounter. Unlike the first game, in which Jill started with a lockpick and could do a lot of things on her own, there are no limitations to which character that you pick other than the weapons that you acquire. Claire will get a submachine gun that has a silencer on it, while Leon gets a literally magnum. It's not, there's no health difference, the only difference depends on which scenario that you choose. And now, before we talk about the story, we need to talk about the scenarios. In the original release, there were 2 scenarios that the characters can go through, which were A and B. And you could play through both of those as both characters, with only one of those routes actually being canon, and the consensus are that Claire A and Leon B is canon, which means that Claire was the first one to get to the police station and Leon arrived shortly after. Now come to the remake, it's a little different, as each character only has 1 campaign, but there are overlapping things in each campaign, as each character might fight the same boss, which doesn't make sense in another character's gameplay. It's really confusing, but the consensus seems to be that it's still Claire gets there first, but there are inconsistencies in the story which makes it seem like they it's like really basic inconsistencies, as there's a character death that happens in the same way in both characters' story, which is impossible if both characters' story are happening at the same time. There are certain points in the story where both of the characters should be at the same place, but they are not. Certain things aren't changed if you play scenario B, and honestly, to me, it just feels like it was a little lazy the way they did it, because it should be, there's a point where you crash the car into the parking lot, and that seems like it should be changed and happen in scenario B, but once you get into there is no evidence of any of that happening. So to me, it just feels like it was a part of laziness, not making sure that scenario B and A you knew that how they were happening, because there are a lot of overlapping themes in the story.
This is good news. We can get you to a hospital.
No, I am not the priority here.
Lieutenant, I'm not just gonna leave you here.
I'm giving you an order, rookie. You save yourself first. I'd come with you, but I'd just slow you down. Now, you'll need this.
I can't take him.
Stop. And don't make my mistake. If you see one of those things, uniform or not, you do not hesitate. You take it out, or you run. Got it?
Yes, sir.
RE2 takes place 6 weeks after the destruction of the Spencer Mansion, and with the T-virus leaking into the city's water supply and infected dogs being released, the city is thrust into chaos overnight, and our two characters unknowingly walk into just chaos. With Claire Renfield on the search for her missing brother, she encounters certain characters like Sherry Birking, who is the daughter of this monster that you see on the screen right now, and Annette Birking, two of the worst parents ever. Claire's story more feels as if she is on the escape and she's searching for her missing brother, and she really doesn't care about what's going on with the city, and she just wants to get out. On the other hand, we have Leon S. Kennedy, a rookie cop who was late to his first day, and you should have just stayed home, man. His story seems to be more about finding out who did this, with characters such as Ada Wand, who is kind of a spy, and you learned who is not somebody that you should trust ever, trying to expose the company for what they did. Umbrella, this is one of the games that Umbrella takes the most anything, like this is like the most Umbrella game out here, because you will find memos and notes and everything that talk about how Umbrella controls this city with an iron grip. The story ends up ending after you beat the B scenario and you get the true ending, which is everybody survives and everything. And honestly, this game's story is amazing, and even with the inconsistencies that I mentioned, like Annette Birking dying in both of Leon's and Claire's story, and having to fight what is his name, William Birking as Leon, which doesn't make sense because he is after Sherry the entire time. Now, I don't want to really get into the story, because I do recommend that you guys watch the gameplay that we did, and you guys go play it yourself, because the story for this game actually is it's really good. It's confusing at times, and I would recommend that you go search something up, because I have played this game enough times now. I have hours in this game, and I'm still confused on like what the inconsistencies in this story. But enough of talking about the story. It is an amazing story. It ends on a very good note. It's a very good story. We are now going to talk about the last aspect of this game that we need to, which is the monsters. And oh boy, did they really up their game from the last one. And not only do you have to deal with the original zombie type enemies, you also have to deal with a new type of enemy, the Tyrant, which is the final boss from the first game. This enemy follows you around and is unkillable. You shoot, he knows where you are. You run, he knows where you are. Then the only way to get rid of him is to lose him. But the trade-off for him is that you know exactly when he is on the way, because of his loud footsteps and his theme. You also can encounter further mutated zombies known as lickers, a giant T-virus infected alligator. You can't make this shit up. You can even encounter these things that I don't even know their name. I don't even want to search them up. I just know they are the bane of my existence and I hate them. But not only do we have to deal with all these creepy things, we also have to deal with William Birkin. And what I'm showing right now is his final form. He has, I think, 4 more forms before this, and I will let you guys see what those ones are, because each one of them is more creepy. It doesn't get more horror than this. And with that, we are going to come to the end of this review here. So, do I recommend the Resident Evil 2 remake? I highly recommend this game. This is the perfect remake in my eyes. While there are some inconsistencies in the story, you can overlook that with the gameplay and the replayability. And honestly, Resident Evil stories, they are very hard to make sense of. It's just now where they've had like a coherent plot. But I do recommend this game highly. It is the perfect blend of original content and the remake, even though I am going to spend my time trying to figure out a way to play the original RE2 so I can experience that one. But I love this game. I recommend you go play it from beginning to end. There's a bunch of side content too with side stories and everything, and it's just a wonderful game. You can get it for your buck. It's constantly on sale now. You could get it for around $20 most of the time. And anyways, I recommend this game highly, and I can't stress enough that this is what a remake needs to be. It needs to cater to what worked originally, and it needs to bring in new aspects to it, and this to me is the perfect thing. Now coming to the end of this video, we are going to be moving on to the Resident Evil 3 remake, and the review will not be praising that one as much, but we'll get into that in probably a week, because there's not a lot of Resident Evil 3 videos to upload. So we are going to be moving on from Resident Evil 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and like I said, I recommend this game 100%. Like, subscribe, and comment for more reviews, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss the Resident Evil series. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Peace out.
What if it's not just the city?
Get Sherry out of here.
Come on.
Another day by the grave.
He was friendly.
So, is it over?
I don't know. But if it's not, we'll stop it. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, you damn right we will.
As long as we stick together, we'll be fine. Come on.
Hey, you guys can adopt me.
Adopt you?
We can get a puppy.
Puppy?
And a parrot.
Parrot. Great.
I always wanted pets, but my mom said they're too messy.
Next up on this boring Wednesday is a song to get your blood pumping.